Ole Miss opens the 2020 season on September 6th against the Baylor Bears at NRG Stadium in Houston. What can the Rebs expect from the Bears? Let's take a look. Like Ole Miss, Baylor comes into this season with a new coaching staff. Matt Rhule is now the head coach of the Carolina Panthers, and Dave Aranda is in as the Bears' head man. But he's got some work cut out for him. Baylor ended last season with an 11-3 record with just 2 losses to Oklahoma and a loss to Georgia in the Sugar Bowl. A lot of Baylor's success came from its defense. The Bears boasted the best D in the Big 12, leading the conference in sacks, defensive scoring, forced turnovers, fewest yards per play, and red zone defense. But Baylor lost 9 starters on that side of the ball this offseason, including James Lynch, the Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year. Even though Aranda is a well-respected defensive mind, he has to replace a lot of production on that side of the ball, and to add to that, it's his first head coaching job. He does get Terrell Bernard back though. Bernard led the Bears with 112 tackles a year ago. The Bears' offense is led by quarterback Charlie Brewer, and he's good when he's not on the ground or sidelined due to injury. Brewer was sacked 38 times a year ago, more than any other quarterback in the Big 12, and that is a major concern for the Bears this offseason. But if Brewer's healthy and protected, he's a threat in the passing game, and he's a bit of a sneaky runner too, with 11 rushing touchdowns to go along with 21 passing TDs and just 7 interceptions a year ago. The Bears did lose their top receiver though. Denzel Mims put up over 1,000 receiving yards and 12 touchdowns last season, but he's gone. So the load falls on Tyquan Thornton, a speedy target who caught for over 700 yards and 5 TDs last season, and RJ Sneed, who's a solid physical slot receiver. The Baylor backfield features running back John Lovett, who led the team in rushing yards a year ago, and he'll get some help from Treston Ebner, who should get a lot more carries this season. When I look at this matchup, I see 2 teams with new head coaches and no spring practice to work with. So I do think it's going to be a sloppy game. But my gut says Ole Miss can win this one. I think because of all the production Baylor lost on their defensive side of the ball, coupled with the fact that Ole Miss has a really talented offense, finally paired with a really talented offensive mind in Lane Kiffin, can really give Baylor's defense some trouble. But I do think Baylor wins this one if Charlie Brewer stays protected, stays safe, and he can throw the ball down the field, which Baylor did really well a season ago. I know things have changed a little bit, but he does have that ability, and Ole Miss did struggle in the passing game last season. But I still think that this one turns into a sloppy game. It's going to fall on the ground attack, and I feel really comfortable with John Rice Plumlee and Jerrion Ealy when it comes to the ground game, giving Baylor fits and pulling this one out to start out the season 1-0. But we're going to have to wait and see. For the Ole Miss Spirit, I'm Suda Upadhyaya.